All right, if you want to know our exact ad formula for creating video ads that make you become the #1 local business in your city, then in this video here, I'm going to walk you through our exact system. If you want to get your time back, earn the type of income that you want in your business, and actually have the freedom to go do other things outside of your business. This is what these ads are doing, is they're creating a pipeline and creating an abundance of leads for your business so that you can actually decide which jobs and which projects you want to take on. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, then in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. And starting here, the very first thing we're going to do is go to a website called ChatGPT. Now you may or may not have heard of this website before, but what we're going to do is actually use something that is custom that we've actually developed and trained over time to actually automate this whole process. So it's very quick and it's very efficient. So if I go over to the left-hand side here, I'm going to see something called a script writer. And when I click on this, what's special about this is that this has been trained and designed specifically for a specific purpose, which is writing high converting video ads that are able to attract prospects to your business and actually draw them in and get them interested in buying your services. So the way that we've done this is actually through the instructions section here. You can see there's a bunch of information in here regarding specifics of how this is actually going to accomplish the task that we want it to accomplish. So as you can see here, I'm not going to read through all of this, but just to give you an idea, you are a professional marketing copywriter specializing in creating short-form social media content and ad scripts for local service-based businesses, especially high-ticket providers. And there is a difference there, right? If we are selling a high-ticket service, we want to be speaking to and attracting a very specific type of client and not just somebody who's, say, price shopping or is just looking for the cheapest option. So there is a difference there when it comes to developing marketing messaging to actually attract a high-value type of buyer. So this is just one piece of the prompting that goes into actually training this GPT to accomplish the task that we want it to accomplish. But the real bread and butter here is down here under the knowledge section, where we've actually created an entire PDF that's about 4 pages long that just breaks down specifics as to the specific output that we're looking for. So again, not to just read through all of this, but as you can see, there's a lot of very specific information in here that is basically giving specifics in terms of the output that we want. So we want it to speak directly to the ideal customer profile using their exact pain points, their desires, their fears, and their goals. So all of these things are being factored into the actual copywriting and the marketing messaging that we're producing, because that's what's going to make your ads as effective as possible, because we're trying to resonate with this specific ideal customer profile. And when we do that with the ads, we're actually calling them out and they feel like they're being singled out as a buyer and they feel like you really understand them. So not to go too deep into the psychology there, but that really is the basis of this, to make sure that the ads are as effective as possible. So this is something we've developed and we use for all of our clients, and we've worked with over 30 clients in the local area to actually train this GPT more and more so that it collects more data and actually gets better at what it's doing. So what we're going to do here is start out with creating scripts for a insurance business owner. So what I'm going to do is open up another tab here, and I'm going to go over to Notion, which is where we house all of our clients' portals and all of their information. So if I go down here, I'm going to scroll and find out of our clients one specifically, like I mentioned, which is an insurance agent. And as you can see, when I click on the dashboard here, she has a couple different options for scripts. And because we've already found that these scripts are proven and the format of them and the way that they are set up has actually gotten her good results and has actually resonated with the type of client that she's trying to attract, we're going to use that information to, again, train this GPT even more so it's even smarter and it has more information in terms of how to make better scripts. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm actually going to start by going here and just duplicating one of these to create a new section to actually house her scripts. So once this is duplicated, I'll be able to change the title over here to shoot number 4. And now I just have a blank canvas where I can actually just remove all of these old scripts because this is a duplicate of number 3, like I mentioned. So I'll just delete those, and then I'll go down here to real scripts and do the same thing. So we just have a blank canvas. So now that this is ready to go, what I'm gonna do is actually go back to some topics that she's already emailed me. So luckily, she's already put together the actual frequently asked questions that she wants to address in her content. So it's all right here. So as you can see, there's almost 40 total questions here. And what we're gonna do is, because we're doing multiple shoots over the next 3 months, we're just gonna split up these topics into different sections so that we have enough to space out throughout the 3 months. So we don't have to sit down and film 47 videos in one time. We can just chunk them up into, say, 15 to 17 videos at a time to make it easier. So what I'm gonna do is actually just download this entire document right here. And then what I'm gonna do is go back over to ChatGPT, to our custom scriptwriter GPT, to actually create this new batch of scripts. And what I like to do is actually just talk to ChatGPT and tell it exactly what we're doing. So what I'm gonna do is just click the little voice button down here, and I'm gonna tell it exactly what we're working on. So what we're trying to create here is video scripts, to include ad scripts, one top of funnel ad script, as well as organic reel scripts that are addressing frequently asked questions of this ideal client. So this client is an insurance agent, and I'm going to share with you some video scripts that we've already filmed in the past so that you get an understanding of the framework, of the messaging, of the tonality, of all those different things that go into these scripts, so that you can use those as an example, and also so we don't duplicate any topics. So I'm also going to upload a PDF document that has a list of the topics that we're going to create these videos on. And as you'll see, there's about 47 total questions in that document. We want to just split up that document into, say, batches of 15 video scripts, because we're gonna perform 3 different video shoots over the next 3 months. And we wanna just split up these topics so that we have enough even topics for each video shoot. So basically about 15 to 17 video scripts is what we'll be producing for this next shoot. And like I said, I'm gonna upload all that information. I'm going to share with you more information about the business so that we can tailor these scripts even more specifically to the ideal client they wanna market to. And then let's go ahead and produce those scripts. So as this uploads here, it's just gonna take all of the text, all of the audio that I just said, transcribe it into text so that I can then create the scripts for these videos. So as you can see, there is our finished prompt. And what I'm gonna do is just hit space twice. And now I'm going to copy and paste some of those previous scripts. So I'm just gonna say, here are some example scripts from the past, from the past. And I'm just gonna go back over to Notion here to their dashboard. And I'm actually gonna copy all of these previous scripts that we've used before. So I'm gonna take every single one of these and I'm just gonna copy it. And then I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna paste it. And then I'm just gonna do the exact same thing for the other 2 shoots. So now what we're doing is really just training this GPT even more to understand the type of copywriting that we want to reproduce, because we've already used these scripts in the past. So obviously we don't want to duplicate the same topics over again. And because I already have that document with these new questions in there that we're going to cover, this just makes sure that the GPT is familiar with the actual messaging and the actual tonality, like I mentioned, of the client and how they speak. And this has been trained off of previous information from an onboarding document. So when we onboard clients, we send them an entire jot form where they're filling out all of this in-depth information about their business, about what makes them different, about what makes them unique, and then also about the ideal client that they want to attract. And this has already been trained on all that information beforehand because we've worked together for so long. So now over time, it's just getting better and more efficient, and it has more data to pull from to actually understand what we're trying to accomplish. So that's the whole goal here with having something like this, is that the more data you feed into it, the more sources it has to pull from, and the better results it can actually produce for you. So that's the benefit of this. We've sent over 30 clients through this exact system. So it's just continuing to get better and better as we progress. So not to get sidetracked, we're going to copy and paste this last set of scripts here, number 3. And now once we have those, the last thing I have to do is just upload that PDF document with all the questions on it. And again, that's what's going to be able to spit out the actual topics that we want to use in there. So now that I have all these uploaded, all I'm gonna do is upload that actual PDF that we downloaded. And once that's uploaded, I can just go ahead and just click submit on this. and let's see what kind of output we get. So now this is writing out. It's telling me, great, thanks for the detailed context, previous scripts, and the new batch of 47 video topics total. So here's what we'll do. We're gonna split the 47 questions into 3 balanced batches, exactly like I asked it. We're gonna create 15 to 17 original teleprompter ready scripts for batch 1, written in the exact voice, pacing, and tone as the examples you provided. And it's gonna follow a specific structure here. So it's gonna include a hook, it's gonna include some sort of value, it's gonna have some sort of proof or trust in there, as well as a call to action at the end. So there's different variations here. We're gonna see the different topics. So for the first 16, it's probably just pulling those directly from the topics that I had submitted, obviously. So that's what that's gonna look like. It says next, I'll start generating the scripts for each of the 15 questions plus 1 top of funnel ad to round out the batch. Ready to start writing the scripts for batch 1? Yes, I was born ready. So let's see what it spits out here. So now, as you can see, it's just gonna be writing all of these scripts out and having them ready to go, following a specific framework that we've already created in the past here. And this framework is proven to get results. It's proven to actually accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish of getting in front of the ideal buyers that we want to get in front of. And then not only that, but making sure that the messaging and the things that we are talking about are actually relevant to that buyer and their current state and their pain points and their problems and the things that they are experiencing right now in real time. Because that's what's gonna make the most effective marketing, is actually resonating with the buyer at the current state that they're at and showing them that, hey, look, we understand that you're going through this and you're going through that and you must feel like this and you must feel like that. But hey, look, if you wanna find a way to overcome that, here's exactly how we help clients do that all the time. That's essentially all we're doing with the marketing. So as this is writing itself out here, we'll go ahead and start scanning through some of these and just seeing, kind of proofreading it to check and see where these actually are in terms of quality. Is this something we can use right away? Is it ready to go? The first topic here, why did my mortgage payment go up if nothing changed? And I wanna actually go look back at the topics and see if that is, and yes, it is in fact, why did my mortgage payment go up if it didn't change? So perfect. It's actually in alignment. It's following along here with the actual prompts. And this is the hook here. Did your mortgage just jump even though your rate didn't change? You're not alone. Here's what's likely behind it. That's a mouthful. Escrow. Your lender collects extra each month to cover taxes and insurance. If those go up even by a little, your mortgage payment does too. No one tells you up front, but that's the catch. We've seen clients blindsided after a reassessment or policy renewal. One homeowner saw their escrow shortfall jump by $800 just from an insurance rate hike. Do you want to double check your escrow or see if your insurance is pushing it up? Drop a comment and we'll walk you through it. Okay, so that's perfectly fine. I think that looks fine in terms of a script. Number 2, what is escrow? What is escrow and why does my lender control my insurance payment? So let me look back here. Yes, this is in fact correct. And let's see what it's actually saying here. So do you ever wonder why your mortgage company is paying your insurance bill? Here's why that happens. It's called escrow. Your lender collects money each month to cover your annual taxes and insurance. When the bill comes due, they pay it out on your behalf. It protects the bank's investment. But we've seen confusion when people change policies and the lender pays the old one. That's why it's key to notify your lender ASAP if you switch insurance. Thinking about shopping insurance? DM us first. We'll help avoid double payments or lapses. So, okay, it's all following the same type of framework in terms of the hook, the value, the proof, and the trust, and then having a call to action. But what I want to actually do is refer to one of our previous scripts that we've done recently and take a look and see how the framework has maybe gotten different or just improved upon since we've created this formula. So let's go to the video scripts here for another client, and I want to just look and see what is the previous framework looking like. Like, as you can see, there's already a whole lot more going on here when it comes to the scripting. And this just goes back to the point of having to refine and understand what to look for when you're actually developing these scripts to make sure that they are on par and on the level that you want them to be at in terms of the actual knowledge and information that you're providing. So what I'm gonna do here is actually feed it these examples. So I'm gonna copy all these. I believe there's 8 scripts here. 1 through 8. So I'm going to copy these and now I'm going to tell it, we're going to go back to ChatGPT and I'm going to tell it, great job there. This is a very great start. What I want to do is take it a step further and I'm going to give you an example from another client who's in another industry, but I just want you to analyze the actual framework of the script that I'm providing here, there's going to be 8 examples. So just look at the framework in terms of the structure of the hook, the structure of the rest of the script, even down to the call to action, which is not really a direct call to action. It's more so just encouraging engagement. So almost like Gary Vee's principle of the jab, 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 right hook, we don't always want to be asking for something in every single script. We more so just want to create a community type of feel where we're asking an open-ended question or just encouraging some sort of engagement or conversation instead of just asking for a direct action. So take note of those example scripts, and that's what we're going to use to actually improve upon these and make them even better. Boom, we're gonna press enter. It's gonna get my words transcribed here, and then I'm just gonna paste those other scripts right below it to now see what it comes out with on the other side of this. So the whole goal here is that it may not be perfect from the start, but it's just a matter of making it even better. And in order to make it better, we wanna know those key things to look out for. So that's why I tell it here, analyze the actual framework. So as you can see, it gets very in-depth. When it comes to the hook, we want it to be big, reflective, curiosity-driven question, and often personal and emotionally resonant, right? Because that's gonna be so much more impactful when somebody hears that. You want it to feel like it's the beginning of a conversation and not a pitch. So these are things that maybe typical local businesses may not understand when it comes to marketing and the things that go into it, but just know that it's very calculated in terms of psychology and actually being personally resonant and emotionally resonant when it comes to actually creating marketing messaging that's going to be effective. So as you can see here, there's also a reframe or insight, and it actually challenges a common assumption or reveals a blind spot. And not to just read through all these, but we'll see what it actually looks like when it comes down to the actual scripts. So now it's saying here, this framework blends the educational content with an empathetic tone and an authentic leadership. So it's not about selling, it's about guiding. I can absolutely adapt this format for the insurance scripts. We've already started. Would you like me to revise the first batch of insurance reels into this elevated style? I'm going to say yes, please. So now let's see what it shoots us out here with, and let's see if we notice an improvement from the first example now to this more refined version. So as it's writing here, we're gonna give it a second to write, and we can look at the very first one here, where again, we're still talking about why did my mortgage payments go up if nothing changed, which that seems like a valid question that a consumer or a buyer would have if they are interested or looking into insurance coverage. So the hook here, if your mortgage just went up and you didn't change anything, you're not alone. Most people think a fixed rate loan means a fixed monthly payment, but here's what's really happening. If I wanted to understand why my payment changed, here's what I check first. Look at my escrow account. It covers taxes and insurance. Review if property taxes or insurance premiums went up, and then check for a shortage carryover from last year. We've seen people hit with $80 to $120 monthly jumps just because their insurance quietly increased. It's not just the loan, it's everything tied to it. So if your payment jumped this year, what changed in your escrow? Let me know below and I'll help you sort it out. So see that it's very open-ended at the end. It's just actually helping and providing value to someone in the end versus saying, hey, do you want to get on a call with me? Just DM me and we'll book a call. It's like, hey, I'm actually trying to help out and provide some value here. That's the idea with the call to action at the end there. So this looks a lot better already. The only thing I want to change here is there's some of these arrows in here when it comes to the writing. So I want to make sure that this is more optimized for actually filming, because our filming process, what we do is we actually take all of these scripts and then we paste them into a teleprompter app so that there's guidance in terms of what to say, how to say it. And not every client needs this, but this client specifically, for whatever reason, they're still getting comfortable in front of the camera, which is totally understandable. But some people, when they get in front of the camera, they kind of lock up, they freeze up and they forget what to say. So obviously she is an expert and she is an authority in her field, but there's still that feeling whenever you get in front of the camera. So one way we can work around that is just having these scripts prepared ahead of time. So that way when she sits down in front of the camera, everything is already presented in front of her to begin with. And obviously she's an expert in the field, but this is just gonna help guide her along so that she doesn't feel stuck and kind of blank on what to say. So what I wanna do is actually optimize these scripts, and I'm just gonna talk to it again and show you exactly what that process looks like. So great work here. The scripts look way better already. Now, a slight adjustment I want to make to each script is actually formatting it so that it's ready for the teleprompter. And what I mean by that is just including some line breaks, maybe after each line. Just picture it as they're scrolling down the teleprompter, how it would naturally flow. So even if you don't have to put line breaks after every single sentence, just splitting things up. And I see there's a bunch of arrows and symbols in there already now. If we could just remove those and just have it be more natural of like what would be a word that you would say instead of having the arrow there. We just want the scripts to be like a direct copy of like, okay, the script says what it says, and now when someone reads it back, it sounds completely natural, it sounds completely human. They don't have to improvise at all when it comes to actually saying these lines, and it just flows so much easier. So that's what we're going for. Once that's completed, just go ahead and produce all of the scripts as well. So I see the first 8 were created at once. Let's go ahead and create all of those scripts all at once. And if you have to split it up, that's fine. If you have to answer in chat instead, that's fine as well. We just want to make that adjustment and then apply that to the rest of the scripts as well. So there we go. It's just a matter of talking to it, refining things, and telling it exactly what you want to do. And now we're going to see what this outcome is actually going to look like. So I'm going to click submit here, and let's see what we come up with. For whatever reason, it always answers in this sort of document. I kind of like it when it answers in chat instead. It just makes it a little bit easier. But let's see, I think this already looks a lot better. So yeah, it's just restructured it. It got rid of the arrows in there and the symbols, and now it's just the finalized version. So let's see what it's doing. It says the first reels are now fully reformatted for teleprompter use, natural pacing, simplified structure, no symbols, and smooth line breaks throughout. Next up, I'll generate and format reels 9 through 16 in the exact same style. So stay tuned. Perfect. That's all we really need. We're just going to go through these, and it looks like, yeah, it did them all at once, which is perfect. So let me oh, it looks like we're missing some. So edited, let's find that one first. Okay, so here's 1 through 8. And then, yeah, 9 through 16 was right below it. Perfect. So let me just read through this one more time just to proofread. So this is reel number 1. Why did my mortgage payment go up if nothing changed? So if your mortgage payment just went up and you didn't change anything, you're not alone. This is talking about mortgage. I want to make sure this is still correct. Yeah. Mortgage, escrow, and payment confusion, top performers. Why did my mortgage payment go up if I didn't change anything? I'm no insurance expert. That's why I was kind of curious, what does that have to do with insurance? But obviously, if you are an insurance or a mortgage expert, you're probably laughing at me right now. But that just goes to show the average consumer is not informed in these things. And maybe you are the expert at what you do. But if an outsider hears you talk about these things, I'm going to immediately think you're an expert because you just taught me something that I had no clue was even an issue or a problem at all. So this is great to know that we're still on the right track here. So let's see. If your mortgage just went up and you didn't change anything, you're not alone. Most people think a fixed rate loan means a fixed monthly payment, but here's what's really happening. If I wanted to understand why my payment changed, here's what I'd check first. I'd look at my escrow account. That's what covers taxes and insurance. Then I'd review if my property taxes or insurance premiums went up, and I'd check if there was a shortage carryover from last year. We've seen people hit with $80 to $120 monthly jumps just because their insurance quietly increased. It's not just the loan, it's everything tied to it. So if your payment jumped this year, what changed in your escrow? Let me know below and I'll help you sort it out. Perfect, so this looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and just copy and paste these over into our Notion document. And then I'm actually gonna proofread them even further just to make sure that everything's on the right track. So what I'm gonna do is go back to our client here, and then I've already duplicated her video script section here. So under the reel scripts, I'm just gonna go ahead and paste numbers 1 through 8. Whoopsie. Okay, it's playing games with me. So I'm gonna paste it, there we go. And then what I'm gonna do is go back and actually grab the remaining 9 through 16 here. So what I noticed is said the last one, exactly, the top of funnel ad script. So that's gonna be different than the rest of these organic reels, and we'll walk through what's different about it in a second. So once that's in there, yep, we should have 15 scripts, which is a good amount of scripts right there. What we're gonna do is go back to this one. Now the idea with the reel script, or I'm sorry, the top of funnel ad script, is this is gonna be different from all the other videos. So the other video scripts that we've just created are more so based around the middle of funnel. So if we think of like a marketing funnel, and if I just pull one up here on Google, marketing funnel, what you're gonna see is there's different stages within this funnel. And I'm actually gonna type in top, middle, bottom, and let's find a good example. Perfect. So top of funnel is really just building awareness about you and the problem that you address. So it's probably easier to see it over here. Yeah, that's fine. So the idea with this is that with this funnel, the top of funnel is where your ads are happening, because this is what's getting awareness about the problem that you solve for your end buyer or your end consumer. So the idea with that ad script is it's gonna be positioned and scripted in a different way, because the goal of it is to really grab the attention of a person who has a specific problem and actually get them to find you first. So what this looks like on Instagram is this is going to be a locally targeted ad that is just popping up on people's phone that's within a specific radius of our area or wherever your business service is, and it's gonna be talking about a specific problem that they have. And now the rest of the video scripts that we created are more for the middle of the funnel. So we're assuming that we have something in place for the top of funnel here, which is gonna be that ad script. That's what's getting people to actually find you first and get to your Instagram account. Once they get to your Instagram, we then fill it with middle of funnel content, which is teaching people how to choose a solution. So that's the idea with all those other scripts we're creating on these other various topics, is that they're in the middle of the funnel. So we're assuming we've already gotten the attention of the person that has a specific problem. And these video topics are more so addressing how to choose that solution. So it's educating them about how to solve problems, like what to do. It's informing them, right? It's raising their awareness from being unaware that they have a problem, because the ad is actually targeting those people who are unaware that they have a problem, because it's bringing the problem up to them. And then once they're aware that they have a problem, we're gonna make them aware of the solutions to that problem. So if this sounds in depth and you're losing me here, this is just marketing 101, but that's the idea. We're creating top of funnel content, we're creating middle of funnel content to actually get the attention of the buyers that we want to get attention of, and then educate them and build trust with them in the middle of the funnel. So this is very, very important. So what I'm going to do is actually proofread this ad and just see what it's come up with. So if your mortgage or insurance payment just went up and no one explained why, this is for you. Most people have no idea how escrow works, or that one insurance increase can raise their mortgage overnight. Here's how to avoid surprises. You want to renew your policy. You want to review your policy before renewal. You want to ask how rate changes impact escrow, and don't assume the lender will explain it, because they usually don't. We've seen families get caught off guard, scrambling to adjust their budget, not because they did anything wrong, but because no one told them what to expect. So if your monthly payment jumped, have you checked your insurance and escrow? Let me know if you want help breaking it down. So what I'm gonna do is we're actually gonna have to refine this a lot, because it's not following the same framework as the typical top of funnel ads that we create. So I'm just gonna give it some more information on how to do this. So great work on the real scripts, on the organic scripts. Everything looks great. The last adjustment we need to make is specifically to the top of funnel ad script. So what we want to do is change up that format a bit. And we've used some good optimized formats in the past that are very specifically calling out the audience and including the location of the audience that we're calling out. So if you can recall from the examples that I already shared with you, and let me actually look at those, from shoots 1, 2, and 3, we're calling out typically coastal Carolina homeowners. We're also calling out, hey, Wilmington, right? We're calling out our geographical area, and we're saying things like Carolina business owners. So we need just a more audience location specific call out to make sure that that hook is very, very powerful and is speaking directly to the consumer that we want to speak to. So that's going to be very important. The other things we want to include is just very basic framework as far as bringing up the problem, right? So just introducing the problem that they're experiencing now to resonate with them, and then positioning us as the solution and telling them to follow us to get the desired outcome that they want. So we want to have 2 call to actions. We want to do one early on in the video. So let's say at the end of the hook, we're going to say something like, Future Nick here. And what I have to tell you is that at 30 minutes of recording, the camera actually shut off and stopped recording. And you would think I would know this by now. I totally forgot. I continued to explain the actual format for the ad for about another 10 minutes. So if you missed out on that and that's something you're interested in actually learning and understanding so that you can implement for your business, what I did is actually left a link down in the description to book a call in with me and my team. So if you go click that link, you can book in a call and we can walk you through the rest of that format and even just see if it's a good fit to be able to help you out and actually implement this into your business. So if that sounds interesting to you, just click that first link down in the description. And also, if you want to know how to become the #1 local business in your city and take over your local market in 2026, just click the video on screen right up here and I will see you there. Peace.